evening, wherever you are around in the continent. I know we are joined by at least 20 representatives around Africa. When we started as Riva, which is an energy solutions company, and you all came forward into saying that we are here, we want to be part of this journey, and we want to represent our countries. And today we have a network of at least 20 representations in Africa because of your willingness to come and be part of a solution. And since we started working together, we know we've been bumping into many challenges, different types of challenges. And basically, because what we want is we want to power up the entire continent where we do not really want to leave anyone behind. And obviously that will come with some bit of a challenge because this is a capital intensive initiative. The entire globe is basically in an energy crisis right now, and everybody is scraping around for a solution, different kind of strategies that they're using. And yes, because we all want to bring a solution to this crisis that we find ourselves in. And we've been running around trying to get investors, funders who would want to partner with us. And we've been hitting a hard rock every now and then. We actually just came to realize, just as Mahatma Gandhi said, that if you want to see change, be the change. And same as us today, if we want to have a solution, we must be that solution. And this is the reason why we are here today, because we have decided it is time that we become the solution. It's no longer a time where we sit back and expecting another person to come forward and say, I have a solution for you. It is time for us to stand up and say, here we are. We are that solution. And if we want to solve any problem that affects or impacts on humanity, we can never solve that problem in silos. That problem really needs a collective. And today we are going to talk about that solution. And I know the excitement has been revived all over again, and we cannot wait what solution we have. Today we are introducing the Energy Fund. We've been talking about this Energy Fund since the latter part of last year, but apparently we just did not have a strategy on how we can introduce it. And because we have given ourselves a few more months where now we decided to just leave everything, refocus, regroup, and re-strategize. And that is why we say now we are ready to bring that platform to the world. But you being the foundational part of our initiative, and that is why we're saying the first 2 sessions of our 12-part series is just going to be dedicated on you as the leaders of our initiative in Africa. And we are saying, before we can even go out and talk to the people, we need to understand exactly what it is that we are bringing to the people and how we would like to interact with the people and how we would like them to be involved in the solution. And this today and the next session, we will just be discussing on how we can lay a firm foundation for this continent. This is not an easy job that we are doing. It's a very, very intensive, very complex solution that we say we want to bring to the people, because now we want to give them a solution without really making it heavy on them financially. And that is a huge task. Well, in the course of these months that we've been silent, we decided to revive and rekindle our relationships that we had in the past in terms of investment and funding, foreign funding, which we were very successful in. We now have at least 2 international investors and funders who are saying, we are willing to be part of this energy fund that you are birthing. But there are a few things that we need to tie in before they could bring in their finances. And that is one of the things that we will be talking about today on how we can be able to see that we comply and we are regulated to act as such. So it's very exciting for me as a person who has really been leading the process to finally come to you and say, oh yeah, at last we do have a proper solution. And so we will be talking about the investments, we will be talking about our partners, we will be talking about how we will be partnering with them, and we will also be talking about your involvement and how you can play a part in this solution that we are bringing. And also, we will also be talking on how we can rope in the rest of our network that we have already established and developed over the months last year. How do we also make them part of the solution? And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, that we can only solve the solution if we work together as a collective. That's the only solution, because the solution lies within us. It's just a matter of unifying ourselves. And you know what? There's nothing the world fears the most like unity, especially unity of the African people. So, right now, as the African children, we have decided to come together and bring this solution. And when I am mentioning African children, I am not talking about race, I am not talking about gender, I am not talking about color. I am talking about everybody that is in Africa and part of Africa, and who is also looking forward to the solutions and be part of the solution. So let us all unify and work together. So yes, we are introducing the Tribar Energy Fund. In our next series, where now we involve the public, we will also be looking deeper into why did we decide to name it Tribar. What's this got to do with tribes, and what kind of tribes are we talking about? It's very interesting, and we will be laying it out. We will skin it to the bone so that all of us are in the same level of understanding in terms of our engagement in the solution for our future. And from now moving forward, there shouldn't be any other obstacle. The only obstacle that we will find is us now being an impediment to the way forward. And what I like about the team that we have is that we are all enthusiastic and optimistic about the future of our continent and about bringing the solutions. And the beautiful part about all this is that this energy crisis we find ourselves in, it is basically bringing us back to the drawing board. And it is going to be our springboard into the future and into the diversification of whatever else we need to do for Africa to rise. And this is our moment. And we are blessed as the African continent because we are the only continent in the entire planet where the sun shines 365 days in a year. And especially now here in South Africa, we are greatly positioned as a country to be the best recipient of the radiation of the sun. And why can't we use all of these resources, of this natural capital, to build something for our children, for our communities, for our legacy as a continent? And the minute we start engaging from that point, where now we are talking as a whole family and not just individual people who are wanting to come up with the cause. Bringing to you, we are saying that we want to train each and every one of you to be what is called an IPP. An IPP is an independent power producer. So now as an IPP, you will be exactly in the same position as River Energy Solution, but you will be independent, but having our full support in everything, including the training, the resources, the financial resources, and also the products, the solar energy products. So now you will be working more like a franchisee, and we will be a franchisor where we are there with you all the step of the way. So we will train each and every one of you on how to be a successful, compliant IPP. We will also conduct training for installers, for solar system installers. We will also conduct training for site auditors, and we will also conduct training for your sales force. So now the entire spectrum will be covered in the training, and the training is going to be conducted by River Club Institute. We all know what the River Club Institute are because you are the members of the River Club network, and all that emanating from the River Energy Solution. But this particular 12-part series now is presented to you by WIPFIN, which is Women in Power FinTech Company. WIP Invest, which is Women in Power Invest, was established in 2018 by a group of women where I was leading the process as the founder. And basically, the purpose of WIP Invest, when we established it, was to come together as a group of women, where now we're saying, as people who are naturals by nature, as people who are builders by nature, what it is that we can bring together to bring a solution and take the lead in the building of our economy. Because we cannot run away from the fact that women are builders and men are leaders, and we haven't really built anything yet. So there isn't really anything much for our men to lead. So this is our time where now we are saying we are ready. We want to start the foundational work of building and nurturing the process. So when we talk of women in power, we're not necessarily narrowing all of that into only women who will be part of the lead, but women will own up the entire process. And obviously, we are going to invite and extend the invitation to everybody else who would like to be part of the process. So from the WIP Invest, which now has become the holding company for many other initiatives that we started thereafter, as an investment holding company now, under it, there's a subsidiary called WIPFIN, which was now established in 2020. When we started as WIP Imali. Those who were with me at that moment will know exactly what I'm talking about, because we actually had over like 3,000 members back in 2020 who came and said, we want to be part of the process, and they committed themselves into that process. So from there, WIP has also diversified not only into fintech as WIPFIN, but it also diversified into the automobile industry, where now they are actually owning and holding 20% shares in an electric vehicle manufacturing company. And today, we have decided as WIPFIN that because we have rekindled our partners in terms of investors and funders internationally who were part of our process previously, so we have decided to go back and invite them again. And because the partnerships and everything were done in the name of WIP, and so we decided it would really make perfect sense if we bring them back into the same space where we invited them in back then. So now WIPFIN will be leading the process as the mother of Triber Energy Fund, because we are already in the fintech space, which is the financial space. We saw it really fit to use the platform as the mother of the fund. And we will be talking about what the fund will do, who can access the fund, how will the funds be dispersed and distributed, and what types of projects are we going to be taking in, and how vast is the energy fund going to be? Is it going to cover only South Africa, or is it going to cover the continent? We are also going to talk about the diaspora in terms of how they can also come in and partner with us in the process. And actually, talking of the diaspora, one of our funders that have come back and agreed to partner with us all over again is an African brother who is now based in UK, who has been based in UK for over 20 years, 20 or 30 years now. So he has established himself an investment bank there, and now he is saying, I want to partner with you as part of the diaspora to come and bring in the resources for Africa. That is very exciting. And we also have local support in terms of our government, some government entities, which I will mention as I go deeper into our presentations. So basically today is more of saying welcome to the Tribe Energy Fund, and let's sit around this table and discuss on how we can play a foundational role into what we are currently building and how we can rope in other entities and networks so that they can be part of this process. And I am now going to just do a little bit of a PowerPoint or a slide presentation where I will be taking you step by step. And as I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a 12-part series where we will be doing this every single week. And the first two parts or the first two series is going to be dedicated on you as the leaders of Africa, where now we will be sitting on a round table and discussing the engagements and the involvements of the larger part of our networks. So in the presentation, I'll just be showing you briefly the summary of the Energy Fund, which partly you already know. And I will also be sharing with you how the structure is going to work and the strategies. And then moving forward, we will be discussing together on how we move forward. And thank you once again. If you have just joined us, please don't forget to go to the chat, introduce yourself, and tell us which country you are coming from. And let me just delve straight into the slide presentation. And well, okay, before I get into the presentation, this is how we're going to be structuring our parts. We are just going to do a 30-minute, strictly 30-minute series where the first 10 to 15 minutes is going to be me doing the introduction and the presentations, and the 20 minutes is going to be question and answers. And if not all the questions have been answered within the 20 minutes, then we can extend those question and answers into our social spaces like WhatsApp group, Facebook groups, Facebook pages. We also have our very own social network, which is called Roll It. Most of you might know about it. We also have groups there that we can make use of to extend our correspondence and our questions and issues, where now we will also address them there. And we will have a recording of every part that we present, and we will make that available on our platform, which is called Bioscope, and we normally call that our YouTube of Africa. So we will take all the recordings and put them there for your perusal and for you to share with your broader network on how we're going to be going about it. So the Energy Fund is for all of us. Everybody is invited to join and be part and partake from the Energy Fund and be empowered. And yeah, I'm excited, about this journey that we are starting now together. Let me go now into screen sharing and see how we can take it from there. And then I will give you the 20 minutes for question and answers. And we can extend the conversations outside of the space in our social spaces. Thank you, Queens. And let me welcome you one more time. Welcome to the dinner table, the dinner at the Queen's house. If you are here, which means you have accepted an invitation to come to this house. Some of us call this house a house of queens. It's a house of love, a house of unity. We are the Womenity tribe. There will never be unity without love. There will never be love without respect. So if you are here, it means you are
in line with what we are doing and what we are offering to one another, where we're offering love, unity, and respect for each other's skin, each other's culture, each other's religion. And in this house, we are all equal. We shall never be divided by age. We shall never be divided by color. You know, we shall never be divided by social or economic status. We shall never be divided by any generation. We are builders, we are nurturers, we are here to build not only each other, not only our communities, but to build our economy. And if you are here, it means you say you are ready, you know, to build this economy with us. We are here to learn how we can use Africa's greatest resource, which is our solar energy, to build an inclusive and sustainable second economy. And without really wasting any more time, I want to share my other slide. Before I share this slide, our Zoom has a feature called a whiteboard. And I just saw someone writing on that whiteboard. I am going to ask you, Queens, please, can we respect this space? Can we respect the other queens that are here? And let us not play around with what is going to bring disrespect to other queens. And if that happens again, I will remove the person who does that. Thank you so much. I hope we are going to cooperate with one another. Now, let me just go straight to my second presentation. Just give me a few minutes so that I can get it in right here. Just a second. All right, let me just share my screen. All right. I do hope that we can see the screen. Present. All right. All right, okay, let me just go back. So today, before we can do anything else, I guess we know exactly now what we are doing. On Wednesdays, we get together, we gather here as queens, and we talk about our future. We talk about how we build the future. And we are racing towards the 31st of August, and we don't have much time left now. We are just almost halfway through. And I have noticed that there are some confusions with some of our queens of not really knowing what to do first and what is expected of them, and also what is it that we need to race towards. So, but before I do that, I would like to share some few updates. As you know, we have 3 platforms that we are using currently. We have Roll It, Bioscope, and Triber. And I don't want you queens to be confused in terms of which one is first, which one is second, and why are we having all these kind of networks. I'm going to take you through all of that. But before that, I want to bring some good news to you. We've been having some challenges in the week. So we have worked on those challenges and even more. We have updated all 3 platforms. We have updated Roll It. Now we have an app that you can download from Google Play. We have 2 apps. We have a Roll It app that works like Facebook. We have a Roll It chat that works like WhatsApp. You can do audio call, you can do video call, you can create groups, you know, you can do all those kind of stuff. And you may ask yourself, why are we having all these platforms? Why can't we just use Facebook? Why can't we just YouTube? why can't we use the platforms that are already there? Sorry, Queens, just give me a few seconds. I just need to sort this out. Right, thank you. So we cannot use those platforms because we talked about port of entries. Here we are building and protecting our port of entries. Mark Zuckerberg, which is the owner of Facebook, is a billionaire today. And we have the owner of YouTube, he's a billionaire today. We have the owner of Zoom, he's a billionaire today. We have all these other financial platforms, the crowdfunding. We have QZ, who is a billionaire today, who came and collected all our billions from South Africa and ran. Now we have developed our own platforms because it is time that we use our own resources for ourselves and no longer for the benefit of those outside this continent. Africa has been looted its inside. We are here as her daughters saying we are here to help Africa rise up. And if we keep leaking our numbers, leaking our resources outside to the outside world, we will never rise and we will never build Africa. So right now, Africans as in generally, they are the most, we are the most populated, should I say, continent, including those in the diaspora. We have over 350 million in the diaspora of Africans, plus 1.4 billion here that are here in Africa. 1.7 billion, that's a lot. China has 1.4 billion. So it's time we use their numbers. We are the most populated continent in the entire world. Let us now start using our numbers, our resources for ourselves to build what is ours. So now let me just go to the updates. Raw limit, we have upgraded raw limit. We haven't really used it much. We have tested it and realized that we have a few things that we needed to fix, which are fixed now. Now there's one more thing. In Zoom, if you are more than 100, then which means you need to subscribe. And if you are using Zoom for more than an hour, you need to subscribe. You need to pay Zoom for using the platform. And we did not have that feature before because we were still testing it. We have just upgraded. We've got that feature now, so which means we can have users who will be using our platform, not only ourselves, but users who will be using our platform for meetings, for consultation, for online schools, for almost everything. Our platform is inclusive. If you type, I can be able to listen to what you have typed in my own language. And I think we are still the only ones who can do that, if I'm not mistaken. So we don't just want to develop platforms, but we want to offer unique advantage. We want to be ahead of the game. It's time that Africa becomes a Silicon Valley, in terms of the technology. We've been behind for all these years. It's time that we rise and we stand in front of the queue. So on Rollit, we have upgraded the app. And in case you did not know, or on Rollit, you earn while you chat. If you post or you share or you like a post, you earn in our currency called Rollybucks. We will be launching our currency in the next few months. And once we launch our currency, it means whatever it is that you earn, you will be able to withdraw, you will be able to purchase with it because it is a currency that can be used for transactions. We also, the Rolly Chat, our app on Google Play, it's available. You can download and you can start doing your audio calls, your video calls. We have our Tribal platform, which is our investment platform. And we are creating all these platforms because we're creating an ecosystem that is going to make us sustainable, that is going to make us self-dependent and not dependent on anybody outside these platforms. And maybe not today, but I'm going to go through with you in terms of the value. How do we see the value of what we have? The value, for example, let me just take Zoom. Many people today meet virtually. They use Zoom. So what we're going to be adding, we're going to be adding another feature on Rollimate of data free. Data free means that you can come on Rollimate, have a meeting or attend a meeting as a participant free without having data. So you would not need to have data to connect. How powerful is that? Because we want to make our platforms inclusive. We want our learners at school to be able to use this for their maybe after school classes, extra classes, virtual classes. They can have group study groups where they can also meet with other learners from other schools. You know, we want to make life easier with our technology, with our platforms, and which means you being part of all of these, whatever revenue that is created by each and every one of these platforms, you will be part of that as a shareholder. So the purpose of this masterclass is we want to educate ourselves with opportunities that are available. We want to educate ourselves with how things work out there, because we cannot come with any solution when we don't know what the problem is. We cannot solve anything until we know where the problem is and what causes that problem and how can we do it better. And we want to sit around this table and educate one another. It's not even a matter of me being here talking to you and educating you, but it's about us educating one another on the energy opportunities. Energy is our springboard. You know, if we don't use this opportunity now, we will lose this country, we will lose this continent forever. And we're not going to cry over anybody because the opportunities would have been here. Before I even go any further, before I even go to this slide, I am going to repeat this. I know I covered this in my very first masterclass session, but I'm going to do it again. The reason why I'm doing it is that I really need us from this day moving forward to start respecting what we have and to stop looking down on what we have because a fellow African has brought that. I have, in this week alone, I have had so many questions. I've had so many messages. I've had so many people talking to me, asking me who I am, asking me how sustainable are these opportunities, asking me that is it possible that a Black person can come up with these kind of platforms and they are sustainable. The very same person who is asking this is promoting an Indian platform, which is more or less similar to ours. Fellow queens, we really need to start loving our skin. We really need to start knowing the value that we bring on the table. We have so much value. You know, we don't have to underestimate. Now I am going to reintroduce myself again so that you do not have any questions in terms of who I am and the sustainability of what we are doing here. I am Tami Mase. I acquired my education degree in 1997. I'm a teacher by profession. I taught at a high school. I taught at a university level, and I left and developed skills. I did skills development. I developed qualifications. I developed curriculums. I aligned SAQA unit standards. And I've worked with several seaters as well under a company called Triple L Academy. So I worked in Cape Town in 2007 at Kirstenbosch, which is under South African National Biodiversity Institute. It's where I gained the knowledge of the energy through the climate change and global warming, where I was working with scientists. I was headhunted while I was there to be a country director for Youth Climate Report, where we were interviewing scientists and collating all that information for United Nations conferences on climate change and global warming. So since 2007 until today, I've been doing my research on the energy, alternative energy, especially clean energy, renewable energy. And that is where I came up with a concept for the electric cars. And that's why we have Mandroli, electric vehicle startup, which was funded by the governor of the African Diaspora Central Bank, Chief Timothy McPherson, and it has really gained attention of influential and instrumental people globally, and that is who I am. Now, coming back to the platforms that we have, the work that you have, it has taken years for these platforms to be available, to be here. It has taken years of research and, testing so many platforms, putting together to have what we have today so that we can, as an African child, compete and be on the same table as people like Mark Zuckerberg. When Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook, he was just a university student who approached fellow students. He did not have money. The only thing he had was an idea to come up with a directory for students, which grew to be Facebook as we know it today. So nobody starts anything as a millionaire. You start from nothing, you start from the ground, and it is only a unity of people that grow that, not one single person. And coming to the question where now I was asked, what if this fails? Now I'm going to take this question back to you, Queens. If any of these opportunities and initiatives and platforms that we have brought on the table fail, then which means we as a collective of Queens here today, we will have failed ourselves. And if anything fails, it's not going to be we cannot blame one person. It takes a village to grow anything. And as this army of women, we need to hold our hands hand in hand and really work together. We have everything that we need here on the table. We are not starting from scratch. All the work of years have been done. The only thing that now is being extended to you is an invitation to saying, the baby has been born. Now let us work together and bring this baby up. Now, it is a responsibility of each and every one of us here to commit, not only financially by upgrading on the same platforms, but also to commit our time and build these networks. And I will repeat it again. Mark Zuckerberg is a billionaire today because of numbers. If Facebook had only 100 people, he would have long closed it by now. If Twitter only had just 1,000 people, they would have long closed it by now, and Elon Musk would not have bought Twitter. You know, all these things, Zoom, they are generating so much revenue today because of the numbers. So I really want us to see the importance and realize the importance of numbers. So when we're saying we are building networks, I would like us to identify and understand it from that angle. When we go to people, Queens, we are not recruiting. We don't do the recruiting. The recruiting is done by people who want, numbers, who will be paid by the same amount of money. And that is called, it's not far from a Ponzi scheme. It's not far from a pyramid scheme. We are none of that, neither of the above. We are an institution that is building its economy. And for us to build our economy, we need the numbers, we need the financial resources, which are the two most important elements to build any economy. Here, we are building an economy, Queens. And to build an economy, we cannot build an economy without numbers. There is no market without numbers. And there are no numbers without people building those networks. So I really want us to understand the importance of us building these networks. And also, I want us to understand the importance of the urgency that we have. Now, in the past masterclass sessions, we have learned what an energy economy is. We have learned what an energy revolution is. We have learned on how we can build the components, all the components. We know all the components. We know our platforms. We know our port of entries. We know our numbers. We know our financial resources. We have all of that. Now, what I would like us to concentrate on is not only the 31st of August that's coming. Yes, that's going to be a bonus of a recognition of the work that we will have put in here. But for us to get here, what is it that we need to do? There has been a lot of confusion when it comes to that. Before I even get into what we need to do from today moving forward, when you came in here, you were introduced to the 3 categories, which is the top 20, the top 400, and the top 100. We are now halfway through our master classes. We are only left with 4 weeks. By the end of July, we must be having these top 20 queens, top 400, and all the categories must be filled up. Why? Because there is a trip that's awaiting us, queens. There is a trip to Dubai. There is a trip to India that we still need to prepare for. And by the end of July, those who qualify need to arrange for their visas. They also need to arrange for their passports. So we will not have time. So the cut-off time is the end of July, which is 3 more weeks from now. And which means we do not have time. And it's hardly 100 queens that have upgraded so far. And I'm going to repeat this again. If we do not reach the targets by the 31st of July, we will have failed ourselves. And we cannot, queens, we cannot fail ourselves. We are builders. We need to show the world that we are taking that responsibility seriously, that of building. Now, I'm going to make it very easier for you. Now I'm going to take you through what was expected from you. And after this, I'm going to take you through to what is expected, what will be expected from you from today, moving forward in the next 4 weeks. Queens, 4 weeks is nothing. 4 weeks is going to end like yesterday. So we really need to be on our toes if we want this. There is so much at stake here. If you reach all these categories, you must remember that there are contracts in place that you will receive. You will receive a 20-year contract, right? And you will receive some finances, you will receive some investments, you will receive all of that. And there is so much at stake if you do not push yourself. And let me tell you this, whether we build the top 400, the top 20, the top 100 or not, these opportunities are not going anywhere. The data center is going to be established. The solar farms are going to be established. So if you don't work towards being part of those leaders in the energy space, you will have yourself to blame. And we are here as an army of queens saying, we are going to support you. We are going to support one another. So don't look at these numbers and see an anthill. Cry out, go out, and say and scream, you need help. Let's really work with one another and help one another reach these goals. So now this is what you know, that we need top 20, we need top 400. What does top 20 mean? Top 20 means that you will have to go and invite 20 women who can be part of these opportunities that we have, be a shareholder, also have a contract, and also have some investment and some cash that a person is going to have, or also know that is going to be a shareholder and receive dividends from all these platforms that have made people like Elon Musk, people like Mark Zuckerberg to be billionaires. There are billions to be made here, Queens, from these platforms. We have seen the business cases from Mark, from Facebook, from Twitter. It can be done. It only needs numbers. And there is no skyrocket science right there. So for you to be in the top 20, you needed to bring at least 20 queens, and those 20 queens were going to build 3 levels of 10 queens each on each level. Now, to be in the top 400, you needed now to build at least 2 levels of the generation of queens that you will have invited and your team will have invited in. And also to be in the top 100, you needed to build, just one level, and you are in of 10. Now we have realized that this is becoming a huge task for you, and we are running out of time. We do not have time. Now, what we are saying is that we want to make this easy for you. We are going to ditch the top 20. We are going to ditch the top 400 and the top 100. But these benefits that you see will remain. They are not going to change. They will remain the same. Now, we are no longer having the top 20. We have extended the top 20 to top 50. So which means we need 50 women now to be in the lead. And you will still receive all what you see on my right here, even if you are in the top 50. Now, we need to understand, when we are saying now we need to build these networks, as I said to you, Queens, what you see on your right, if you are in the top 20, if you were to be in the top 20, we are talking of projects that are in place. So whether you build your team or not, the projects are moving forward. The projects are there. We are finalizing funding for these projects. We are finalizing all the PPAs and everything. So you need to pull your own socks if you want to be part of this. We are having a data center, which is 2.4 billion rands. And from that data center, there's going to be a solar farm that will be built. And that solar farm is a 50 megawatt solar farm. And from that 50 megawatt, you are going to be given a project of 1 megawatt if you're in the top 20. 1 megawatt worth 20 million project for 20 years. You will be receiving that 1.2 million cash. You will be receiving the investments on Triber platform. Plus, you will be receiving shares worth of 30,000 Rand. Remember, when you're a shareholder of WIP Invest. WIP Invest has got shares in Mandroli Holdings. WIP and Mandroli Holdings, Rolliverse, and all these other platforms, they are subsidiaries, 100% subsidiaries of Mandroli Holdings. So what I'm saying to you, Queens, is all these opportunities are there. They are here. It is up to you to pull yourself and bring the networks so that we build this as a team. Here, we are here to empower one another. We are here to empower our queens, our communities. We are here to rise our continent. And we can only do that as a collective. And we will never do that in silos. Now we're going to make it easy for you. So you can scratch that. No more, we no longer have the top 20. We're extending it to top 20 to top 50. What does the top 50 mean then for you? It means that you no longer need to invite 20 queens for you to be in the top 20. And your team of 20 will no longer need to build 3 generations of 10 queens in each generation. Now, if you're in the top 50, the only thing that will be needed from you is to at least invite 5 queens. So we have dropped the 20 down to 5, right? So we no longer have the top 400. Remember, the top 400, we're going to receive all these benefits on your right. Nothing is going to change, but we have dropped that number down to 200. So we will need now the top 200, right? So you will still receive your 30,000 Rand cash. You will still receive the solar project of 25 kilowatt for 20 years. You will still receive your investment and your shares in WIP Invest. Queens, I want you to understand that what you are committing with is nothing compared to what you are getting. I mean, we can all see that. We are really being generous. Why? Because we want to be inclusive. We want to build an inclusive economy. We want to build an inclusive growth.
Always borrowing the money. So,
sorry, Queens, I just need to sort this out. Oh, great. So nothing has changed. So every one of us is going to be expected to invite at least 5 queens. That's all that's needed from you, just 5 queens to come and be part of this initiative. We need as many queens as possible to be shareholders and to be part and to be partners in what we are doing, because we can never do this alone. We need an army of us. I will just make an example. If we are to have a bank right now, and if it is me alone, Tammy, that says I want to go and own a bank, isn't it going to be easier for me to be a target of being killed, assassinated, or sabotaged? It's going to be easy. But who can sabotage a bank that is owned by 1 million women? It's not going to be easy. So that's why we're saying our power is in the numbers. And that's why we need to build these numbers as fast as we can, because we do not have time. So let us help one another build these numbers as fast as we can, so that whatever kind of sabotage that comes, then we are already a unity. We are a big number that nobody can move. And going back to down to the top 100, remember the top 100, you were supposed to get the 4,500 cash and the solar installation project worth 100,000 rand, and also the 25,000 rand in investment in Triba, and also the shares. You are supposed to be receiving the shares as well. Don't know where that is. Nothing has changed. But now you need to commit to build. We are builders. We're saying we are builders. Let us show the world that we can build, and that we, there is this notion that normally goes where it says that where there's women, there's no progress. There's no movement. There is nothing. Let us defy those notions, queens. We are just one kind of an army of queens. Let's prove to the world that we can unite and we can build. And that is exactly what we are going to do. The reason why we are being fed with all these, it's because the world knows that if women unite, they will dent this universe. And denting it, we shall, if we continue working together and putting our all in this, what we are doing. And now I want to show you how you are going to qualify, for this. It's very easy. Now, for you to be in the top 50, remember, we no longer have the top 20 now. We are looking for 50 women, because it's going to be easier if we extend the number at the top and spread it across, so that we minimize the requirements from your part, especially looking at the time, the 4 weeks. 4 weeks is nothing really. Now, if now these 50 women at the top manage to invite 5 women, to come and partake, queens, here I'm not saying 5 women every week. I'm not saying 5 women every month. It's a once-off. You bring 5 women, and then you help those 5 women invite theirs. And that is what we call building a team. What we are doing here is relational. Business has to be relational. When it is relational, it means that we are a family. We are related to one another, whether by friendship or by birth. So when I go and invite 5 women, I'm inviting people I know in person. So, and those are inviting others. We're not just inviting random people. We're inviting people that we know. And that is why now it should be easy for you to say, I cannot eat alone when my friend, when my family is not eating, when there is an opportunity on the table like this. Everything is done. The food is on the table. That is why when I greeted you, I said, I am welcoming you to the dinner at the Queen's house, because we are right now dining at the Queen's house. And when you are dining, you are not cooking. We are not cooking right now. We are dining, and we need to dish out to as many other queens as we possibly can, because the food is ready to be eaten. So now the only thing you need to do is bring 5 and help your 5 to build their team of 5 each, until you have 6 generations. When I'm saying 6 generations, until you have 6 levels. So, which means if now I invite 5 queens, I must help those 5 queens to invite 5 queens each. So which means in my second level now there are 25 queens. Those 25 each invites 25, and now there's 125, 625, 1,250 until you reach your 6th generation. And once you reach your 6th generation, then you qualify to be in the top 50. And then we can put your name on the book saying, okay, then you are going towards, you are going to the recognition awards, and you are going to Dubai, you are going to India. Do you remember why we're going to Dubai and India? Dubai, we're meeting our financial partners, and in India, we are meeting our tech partners, our technology partners. Remember, our wallet still has to be upgraded to Web3. It still has to be upgraded with the blockchain technology, because those two elements are what are going to help us transition into the metaverse. That's where we are going right now. We are going to the metaverse. Actually, today I was supposed to be talking about energy in the metaverse, but I decided in the last minute that I need to tackle this first before we can tackle more complex issues. Because before we understand them, the metaverse is going to be the last level of, or last element that we are going to use to build our economy. Remember, we are living in the digital world right now, and the entire world is moving towards the digital world. And we are ushering into the 5th industrial revolution, which means now we are just at the convergence of physical and digital, and we need to be in the forefront of that. So we need to be able to be aware of where we need to be. We need to be futuristic in terms of thinking. You know, when it comes to the metaverse is not new. It was here 20 years ago, and I happened to know about it 10 years ago. And today it is here. It's not coming. It is here, and it's not going anywhere. So we need to move with the times. We need to teach our children the language of tech, of robotics, of coding. We need to teach our children the language of developing, the app developing, the platform developing, because that's where the world is going right now. But I'm not there. Let me just finish here. So now, can we see how easy it's going to be if now you are to invite 5 queens, right? Which means you can tell yourself you can sign up 1 queen a day. Make it your priority to at least have 1 queen upgrade every single day, and help your team to do the same. If we do that, we will reach the target. We have a target to reach, queens. These numbers, we need them by the 31st of July. By the 31st of July, we need to have at least 350,000 queens. We need 350,000 queens, and we can do it. And the queens that have upgraded, you know, we need to pull up our socks. We need to start inviting queens. Make the queens that you talk to realize that this is a lifetime opportunity. It's an opportunity that's ready. It's an opportunity where you will be a shareholder. You have watched the video last week of the governor of the central bank who invested in Mandroli. Mandroli is safe. The funds have been invested in Mandroli. So when you come and be a shareholder, you are a shareholder in something that's moving, something that is acknowledged globally. When you come and be a shareholder, you're a shareholder of all these platforms, your Rollit, your Rollimit, all these platforms that are exactly the same as the ones that you are using right now. Your Mark Zuckerberg, your Facebook, your YouTube, your Instagram, your TikTok. We have all of that. No less, actually, it's even more. Our platforms have more features than the ones that we are currently using. So we have some value right there. So when you are inviting your queen to come and upgrade, you are inviting a queen to come and be part of all of this. Where else have we heard of such a thing? 1.5 giving you all of this, 1,500 Rand, giving you a contract of 20 million Rand for 20 years? No. We have never really had such a thing. So when we start thinking negatively about us as Africans and our ability to achieve such, we must think that we have all what it takes. It's just that we have been enslaved for all these years, but not anymore. We are now leading. Africa must show itself as the mother of the world, because it is. Africa is the mother of the world. And now as her daughters, we really have to rise up and show the world who we are and what Africa is. So I really wanted to make clarity on these. So we no longer have top 20, we have top 50, top 200, top 500, where if you're in the top 50, make sure you build 6 generations of 5 queens each. If you're in top 200, you need to build 4 generations of 5 queens each. If you're in the top 500, you need to build at least 2. So this is what is going to happen. If you manage to build 2 generations, then you are already in the top 500. And then if you manage to go higher to 4 generations, then you will be promoted to top 200 until you reach top 50. So before we even think of top 50, let's start here. Let's be in the top 500. And once we reach there, then we go to top 200. So let's have a campaign. Some of the queens have already started with their Facebook campaigns. They've paid for their Facebook ad. We can even pay as low as 20 Rand or 50 Rand just to have more people, more queens, hearing about these opportunities. And if you want a sample or a template, you can talk to your team leader. We will share, the template that you can use. You can use it on WhatsApp, you can use it on Facebook, you can use it wherever you are in terms of social platforms. So yeah, Queens, this is all I have for you for today. And I think right now I'm going to stop here and ask for questions, if there are any questions that you might have. So I'm going to ask our Queen Monks, if you are in the house, I would like to give over to you to take care of the Q&A. Thank you so much.
Wow. Good evening, Queens. Thank you so much, our Chief Queen Tammy. There's a saying that there is no place that is rich like a graveyard, because not many people are willing to share their knowledge and live that.
Queen Monks, you are muted. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, I have.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Queen. Good evening, Queens. Thank you so much, Chief Queen Tammy. I think everybody has heard the benefits and the opportunities that we are being put on the table for all the queens. They are so attractive, but having said that, it also needs us to put or to play our role and meet each other in the middle. And so when I was checking the chat box, there was a question earlier. I don't think it's a question by Busi from Mpumalanga. Ubusi is our first timer attendee on the masterclass. And so she was asking for the previous recordings. Queen Busi, please ask the queen that have invited you to share with you the previous recordings of the master classes. That's where you're going to get all the information that you need. And the next question, it was from Uzoleka Uzoleka was asking if they can sell roll meat to schools. And the answer is a big yes. Yes, that's the direction that we are taking, because as our chief queen has shared with us, that we are in an era of text, robotics, coding, programming, and yes, most definitely, this is going to be one of the projects that we are going to be attending to take all of these platforms to the schools. Any more questions? I'm looking here and I'm also looking for the hands. My queens, please raise your hand if you have a question. Then we will give you an opportunity to ask a question. There's a queen that has not muted them.
I have long raised my.
Even me too.
My hand has long been up.
Queen Bongs, you are muted again.
The noise. All right.
Yeah.
Queen Busisi, where your hand is up, you can unmute. Okay, you've been unmuted, and so let's hear the question.
Thank you so much, Queen. Good evening, all the queens. Thank you, Queen Tammy, and thank you, Queen Bongs, for the opportunity. Mine could just be maybe a reminder. Maybe it's something that I had missed. I wanted to know, when we bring our queens, the ones that we're supposed to be bringing, the 5, then how do you know that Busisiwe Mgangxela brought Nomalizo, what? Because even when I registered on Roll It, I don't remember anything asking who brought me. So I'm just wondering then, how are the queens going to know that I did my 5 and then I'm ready to build my other level, helping them? And then how will you know that, yeah, that's what I want to ask you.
Okay, thank you so much, Queen Busi, for your question. Chief Queen Tammy spoke about Triba. And so we have 3 levels here, 3 links. You join, you register on Roll It, you register on Bioscope and upgrade. Once your queen has upgraded, and then you help that queen to also register on Triba. And then after that queen has registered on Triba, then there is a referral link on that queen's account. And so that queen will be under you, and then that link will help that queen when they are bringing together or getting other queens into the project. Yes, and so it does show.
Thank you, thank you, Queen Bongs. Can I also just add a little more?
Yes, please.
Queen Busi, thank you so much for your question. You know, you have really asked a very important question, which we have overlooked. It's a very, very important question. And now this is what I want to add, what I forgot to mention in the upgrades. And I think this queens, you are going to love it, because it's going to make your work very easy and very simple. I know queens have been struggling the entire week with all this registration on Roll It, on Bioscope, on Triba. It can get confusing, you know. So we have made it very simple. And if you don't mind, I really want to show you. I would like to share a screen and show you. Now, what happens is you no longer need to register on Roll It. You no longer need to register on Bioscope. You just go there and log in. Log in without registering. Okay, I just want to unmute. There are some queens here that... Okay. Okay, Quinn. Now, I just want to spend just a minute or two showing you. So you no longer need to register. If you invite queens now, they don't have to register. What we have done is we have upgraded both Rollit and Bioscope so that if you have a Gmail account or you are on Facebook, instead of registering, you go on Rollit and you just log in using your Facebook, like log in as Facebook or Google. And then when you go to Bioscope, instead of registering, okay, let me just show you. I want to show you this one. Just it won't be long, so that you can understand how it works, and then you can show your people. So no more headaches. Now it's just going to be all smooth. And then I'm going to go back to your question, Queen Busi, of how do you see? Queen Bongs has already answered that, but I also want to show you from here. So I will start with, let me just share my screen so that you can see the process.
Where's the contract for the phone?
Queens, can we mute our mics, please? Thank you. All right. I'm sharing my screen, and kindly indicate if you can see it.
Yes, we can see, Queen.
Okay, thank you. Well, this version is not going to be the same as the mobile version. You know, the mobile version is much simpler, but I just want to show you something. So I'm going to log off right here. So now this is what is going to happen. Yeah. Now, when you invite your queens, just show them this. So you don't have to come here and register. Before you, Queens, can we please mute our mics, please? All right. Oh, so you don't now. You would need to come here and register before, and put all of that, and then you have to wait for your email, your email address to verify. So you no longer need to do that. Now, what you do, let me just go back. So what you do is you just come here, come to log in. You go to log in. Sorry, you go to log in. Oh, okay. So it has logged me in. Oh, no, man. Sorry, just a second. I want to log out again. Okay. Okay, you come to log in. Oh no, man. It's logging me automatically. Okay. All right, you come. Yeah, so you log in, and then it should take you to where there is yeah. So can you see where there's user login, there's username login, there's social login. So you just go to social login, you will see Facebook or you will see Google. So instead of registering, you just go to social login and you can log in as either of those. So I'm logging in as this one. So I'm choosing my account, and you see, I'm in without registering. Done. So Now you want to go to Bioscope. You go to your menu. Here's your menu here. Down to Bioscope. When you get to Bioscope, you also don't need to register. So what you do, I'm going to log out here as again, log out. So now when you come to Bioscope, you come to so you go here where there's a profile picture, and then you go to log in. You don't go to register, just go straight to log in. And when you are here, you will see these three icons. You will see Facebook, you will see Google, and you will see Rollit. So because now you are entering into Bioscope, you just go to Rollit. When you click on Rollit, it will just take you straight into it'll take you straight into your account without registering. I hope I've tried to simplify it, Queens, but now you no longer need to register. You just log in using your Gmail or Facebook. So no more challenges of verification emails that are not reaching your email addresses. Now I want to go to Triber so that you can see how you can check the people that are in your network. How do I go to Triber now? I'm challenged, dear Queens. Okay, I think I need to.
Is it not on those nine dots there where you will click and then see that one?
Yeah, no, I see. Down. Yeah, no, I wanted to create a new page. Okay, so now let's go to Triber. Okay, so now you want to know how you can see who is under you. Now you come here and log in. Go to your profile and log in. And okay, just log in there. So when you log in, this is your dashboard, right? And then in your dashboard, you will see like the money that you've deposited in your wallet. You will see the money that you've invested. You will see your total earnings, you know, how much it is. And these are the monies that you have deposited, all right? Now, here are your referrals. So you go to your back office and you go to your referrals. And here, this is myself here. Now, this is the person who registered under my link. And under her registered these people. And under this one registered this one. So you see, you can keep track of all the people that have registered under you and under your people. So here is all your network right here. And also, when you check your wallet, you will be able to see your commission, or you are getting commission from who? From these people. You will get you will get your emails. You will also see from your dashboard, you know, in terms of your referrals. So I hope I have managed to show you in a way that you can understand how you can check. So it is very important that the people that you invite after registering on Rollit and Bioscope, they must go to Triber, because that is where you are going to manage all your networks, and that is where you are going to manage all your earnings. because you earn for every person that invests in Triber. If they are under you, you will earn. And now I want to see finance. Oh, okay, no, these are the transactions. But once you have any earnings, it will show under finance, like how much you will be getting, from that person. So I think it's clear. I hope it is clear. Now I want to explain something while I'm still here. The numbers, Queens, I want you to really try and remember what I'm going to say to you now. The numbers that we are talking about, let me stop sharing here. The numbers we are talking about, the minimum number that we need. Right now, if you go to Triber, you will notice that if you invest, your money will mature after 3 months. And the minute, so which means every 3 months, you receive an interest of 30%, right? But now the minute we reach the minimum that we are working towards right now, then that will be lifted to every month. So which means now it will no longer be 3 months, but it will be every month where you are getting your 30%. So can you see the importance of us pushing these numbers? And can you see now when you start compounding your investments every month on the 30%, how much will you be making at the end of the year? But for now, it's only 3 months because of the numbers. So this is where the numbers get very much important, because our funder needs a minimum amount to be able to give us funds every month, so that we are sustainable. So we need that 350,000 or at least 400,000 if we are to be self-sustainable, and if we are to sustain our platforms and also generate more revenue from our platforms. We need, and the numbers that we are accumulating and building now, it's not a perpetual thing that we will be that we are currently doing. Like we will not always be inviting queens. We are only inviting queens until we reach the minimum. Once we reach the minimum, there will not be a need to really invite. We will invite people just because we don't want them to miss on the opportunity, but there won't be a need. So which means anybody can just come on Triber, invest and sit without really inviting anybody. And I want to explain, in case you are asking yourself, where is this money coming from, this 30%? Because if you invest 30% on Triber and you don't invite people, where is the money? I don't want you to think maybe this is a Ponzi scheme or pyramid scheme, because you would probably think that you get paid by a person who has signed up after you. It doesn't work like that. Now this is what happens in the space of finance, where you go when you go to the bank and borrow money, or you want the bank to lend you money. The bank will never give you money except when you have a guarantee. What is a guarantee? It can be your house, any asset. It can be your house or anything that you will put on the table and say, this is my guarantee or my commitment. And it works like that on finance everywhere you go. If you go and borrow money, you need to commit. You need to put your own personal commitment as a guarantee. Now, this is what happens here. When we talk of big monies and this project finances, when you go to these funders, they will always need a collateral from you, whether it's 10% or 20% or 30%. Now, this is what normally happens. For example, now let's say a government wants to borrow 1 billion or 1 trillion or $1 billion US dollars or 100 billion US dollars. The funder will say they need a sovereign guarantee or a government guarantee or treasury guarantee. That is the government's commitment, but that guarantee has to be backed by an asset. It has to be backed by something. of value. Now, what normally happens is if you do not have a guarantee and you need project finance, there are investment banks that will offer you a collateral, but you need to pay a fee for that collateral, right? Now, instead of us going outside and for example, now we have a 2.4 billion rand worth of a project, the solar farm and the data center. If we are to go and get finance, the financer will want 20% collateral, right? And surely we will not have 20% of 2.4 billion. So we will have to go to the providers, the banks that can provide the collateral, but we will need to pay a fee. We normally pay from 15 to 30% of a fee for the collateral. So basically what is happening on Triba is that instead of going outside and giving our 30% away to the outside people as fee for their collateral, we are saying be an investor, invest in the platform and be the collateral provider so that 30% does not go out, but it comes to you. So when we receive the funding, now that 30% that we're going to pay to the collateral provider, it comes to you as an investor. So that is how you get your money. And that is what makes Triba sustainable. That is what makes Triba that is what makes us say that Triba will be here today, it will be here tomorrow, it will still be here in the next 5 years and in the next 10 or 20 years, because we have built Triba on a very sustainable, tried and tested platform. I think I have really spoken too much. Let me give the floor over to you, Queen Wongs, and you can take over.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for that clarity, Chief Queen Temi. We have Queen Pumeza. Queen Pumeza, your hand is up. The floor is yours with a question.
All right. Thanks, my queen. Thanks, Queen Bongi. Evening, my queens. Evening, Queen Tami. Thank you so much for this fruitful session and huge, and I don't know how to call it, but it's very clouded. I am sorry if I am going to delay the house, but we are here, Queens, in order for us to get these numbers. I'm one person that doesn't want to fail if one is given a task. And however, we need to get things right and our wedding to be right. What do I mean by that? We need out from this masterclass, we need to have a new, with these developments, marketing tool. The way we market this thing, this is huge as I listen. It's the very first time. In fact, I'm Pumeza Kate from Kabecha, and I'm new. And I was sold to this idea. However, we deal, fortunately, as for Queen Tami, spoke about QZ that came and loot people's money. You can imagine that now we deal with people that are so fragile, that they are so confused about what is this, why this, and what you are advertising is confusing. You said there's free, but now what is the 1.54? You know, that kind of a question. And when I look back to what I have said to them, indeed, there is this free. So where I'm getting at now, let us have the right and the correct marketing tool to go to the people. Also, if possible, I don't know the reasons why the master classes are for us, those that have upgraded. I don't know the reasons. That is why I've apologized before, because to me, I have a list of about 20 people that I've written down that I would love if they can hear the presentation that you are giving us, Quinton. It can make this work to be very easy if people can be allowed. For instance, Queen Bong, you will know, I had a group, and in this group, all of them, can we get the link? And I said, guys, you cannot get the link if you have not upgraded. Of which I feel that it can make for us our work to be very easier. Yes, not easy, but at least better than all these questions that they are asking. But what is why tribe? What is bioscope? What do you? This is a lot. I'm so happy that now it has been minimized, so that at least people you will know our people are not technologically there, but they are trying. So I am pleading to my queens. As much as I'm saying I don't know the reasons, but I know that for the queens that have upgraded, yes, there can be an information that you don't release it. But if we need these numbers, as for me, I would love us to open it. We only have not even a month to make these numbers. And I can tell you, this is a beautiful program. However, people are so clouded with these. We cannot run away that there were scammers, that they scammed people. Now they keep on asking, who knows about this program? Who are you? Are these donors? Or who are your, where are you going to? It's too good to be true. All those things, you know, that they are asking, and you ended up saying, but you are only paying 1.5. If you are saying you need, but you know, people 1.5 to other people, it's a lot, but to others, no. How do you know that this is not a scam? All those things. So as much as for me, I am buying it, but I want us, our marketing a tool to be right. Our wording must be right, so that people, we are left with days. It's not even 30 days, but it's doable. But we just need to put our things right. And then people, and my plea, I'm pleading for this one, where we can, even if it's a special Zoom, if possible, for my team, and I organize the people so that they can listen for themselves. And I can tell you, our numbers, we will get the numbers that we need. We can build this. It's doable. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Queen Pumeza. Just to come in there, we do share the recordings afterwards. If you can go to the bigger group, especially I'm going to talk about my group, and I know that all the queens are doing the same, because we are doing something that is, we're talking the same language. We do share all the previous recordings of the masterclasses to all the groups. Maybe what we need to be taking into consideration right now from what you have said is to make sure that maybe we get the updates, and then we get the new voice notes, the new poster about all the updates, especially the registration, because we've been struggling with the registration. Okay, we have our next queen here, Queen Zonke. You have a question, your hand is up, my queen. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Queen. Thank you so much, and greetings to all the queens. Thank you for the presentation. First of all, I just want to appreciate the outline that you are given in terms of how to make the numbers for all these categories. It was very clear to me. It was very clear to me. I know what to do. But I also wanted to ask, to piggyback on that, to say the requirement is that I must have 5 queens and then I help them to bring in 5. So I wanted to ask that it is the numbers that count, whether perhaps one queen have 1 or have 3, but if at the end of the day, as that team, we had the required numbers, that would be accepted. I also want to talk about the fact that people are questioning something that has been developed by an African child. To remember one older woman who was married to a person from abroad, and then that person came here in South Africa to open a channel for themselves. And without getting into detail, I just want to say that because of our comments as South African women and men, the way we reacted to how she was doing things, she was an excellent person, very excellent for South Africa. But we do know that he left again because of the negativity that we were channeling against her being an African woman. So it pains me to look down upon ourselves. I think I'm taking on what Queen Tammy said, that we need to appreciate what we have. And in some other language, we say we've got indigenous knowledge and experience as Africans that cannot be suppressed by anyone who's outside of South Africa. So I'm encouraging you, Queen, and all the queens that are here to say this must be a turning point for us to appreciate what we have as Africans. And indeed, you cannot do it alone. Hence, we are committing to do this with you. Let's just go forward, queens, and do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Queen Zonke. I really appreciate your kind words. It's true, we really need to start appreciating one another and appreciating what we have, and just taking it together, working together as a team. Queen Bongs.
Thank you so much, Queen Tammy, and Queen Zonke, for those encouraging words. Most definitely, let's support the daughter of the soil. She has worked so hard. I can imagine the sweat, the sleepless nights, researching and putting all of this work together for us. The path has already been paved for all the queens. And so let's embrace this opportunity. Queen Lwandle, is it Lwandle? Yes. Queen Lwandle, your hand is up, my queen. The floor is yours with the question. Queen Lwandle. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. No. There she comes. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. I need clarity. I was invited to this by my friend Unil. She sent me a link, and then I clicked on that link that says join my group, whatever. And when I click on that to join, I joined under Mabongi, Queen Mabongi. And she attended me. She sent me the previous recordings of the master classes that I didn't attend. So I listened to the recordings before I joined, before I registered on Rollit and Triber and all that. I then used the same link to invite my friends, 3 of them. So now, here now, saying that we need to invite people. What is going to happen now? Because I've already invited people before I've registered on Triber. So do I need to look for another people to invite now using my link from Triber?
Okay, thank you so much, Queen Luandle. I believe that we as queens, one of the values that we carry is honesty. If you have invited those queens, I'm sure that Queen Mabongi will be able to help you create your own group and also transfer those queens into your group. I think that's what, it's my opinion, that's what needs to happen in that space. Queen Tammy, would you like to add on that?
Thank you, Queen Bongs. If I heard you well, Queen Landle, you're saying the people you invited, they actually registered before you, and now it's more like now they are your upliner. Is that the case?
When I'm listening to today's masterclass, it says you need to register on Triber, and then after registering on Triber, when you invite people, you include them under you on Triber. So what happened? A friend of mine invited me. He gave me a link. When I used that link, I went under Mabongi's group. So Umabongi sent me the previous master classes that I didn't attend. And then I listened to those recordings. Before I register on Rollit and Triber and Bioscope, because the recordings were so interesting, I used the link that Nelly gave me to invite 3 of my friends, and they've used that link, and now they are under Mabongi's group. So I've registered on Rollit after I've invited them using Nelly's link. So that's what I'm asking now, clarity is, since now they are not under my group, do I need to look for other people now that I've registered on Triber, so that I have people under me on Triber?
Okay, now I hear you. There are 2 options here now. Queen Mabongi can replace those with the other 3 that she may get, or you can send us the list of those people and then we can transfer them from Queen Mabongi to you.
Okay, thank you. And another question. In Mabongi's group, no, not Mabongi's group, in one of the recordings that I listened to, it said we mustn't be worried if people leave the group. So what happens if now I have people under me I have the group and I'm a leader of that group, and that people, then people, they come in, they join, but then as the time goes on, leave the group.
There are things, Queen Landley, that we cannot control, right? You know, in my language, it says you can take the horse to the river, but you cannot force it to drink. As long as you have explained the opportunity, you know, in English, they say different strokes for different folks. So what may work for me may not work for the other. What may interest me may not interest the other person. So you shouldn't really be worried about people who come and leave. It's their loss, you know, at the end. Maybe they don't have the same comprehension as you do. They don't comprehend it the same. Maybe to them it's too complicated, or it's too good to be true, or it sounds like a scam, it sounds like a pyramid scheme. And then people make all sorts of conclusions in their minds, and then they leave based on that. So what is important is that as long as you give them the facts on the table, if you listened to my previous master classes, I did mention that before we finish the master classes, I will invite the partners to come and address you. But unfortunately, I cannot bring my partners now. They need, because if they are to put money in, they need to see the numbers, you know. So that's why I want us to push, so that at least when they come and address you, then they can see that we are committed, we are serious about what we say we want. So those who leave, it's their loss. Really, don't feel bad that maybe it's you, maybe you didn't explain well. No, it's their choice. And unfortunately, by the time they come back, it might be too late. Because here we need a certain number of people. We don't just want unlimited. We don't want unlimited number. At some point, we are going to close and say we are done with building the network, and then the platforms, they start building themselves. So the inviting of people for the opportunities is very temporary. For example, if we reach the required minimum now, end of July, which means that will be the end of recruiting, or that will be the end of inviting people, then we can just simply talk to people for the sake of sharing, you know, and not to say to them, go and invite other people. Right now, we are this team because we are building. That's why we need to invite others and others. And once we reach that number that we need, no more inviting. People can just come because we want them to get the opportunity, not because we want to use these numbers to build, you see. So whoever that is being invited now here is being invited to partake from this opportunity, not just, for example, if we were to invite people to go and invest on Triber, you know, they would invest and then get their interest and then leave. But right now, we don't just want people to come and invest, but we want people to come and build with us, you know, and be part of us. So whoever is here now is part of this. And going forward, then you will be like, you are future shareholders in as we're sitting here. And when I say shareholders, I'm not talking about small revenues. I'm talking about billions of rands that will be made from all these platforms that you will be part of. So if a person doesn't see that, you cannot force a person to see, you know, this is just clean and clear. And, you know, for me, there's nothing really difficult to understand, because we are talking about platforms that you can see and use. You're not talking about, okay, put money here. We are still going to build these platforms. They are here, you are using them. So if a person doesn't want to believe in what they see, we cannot force them to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queens. Thank you, Chief Queen Tammy. We have on the chat box, Portia Peter. I think she's struggling to raise her hand. I'm trying to look for, okay, she's already unmuted. My Queen Portia. Queen Portia Peter.
Yes, I'm here. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, my queen. The floor is yours.
Okay. Okay, good evening, Queens. I'm happy to be part of the group. It's very interesting, it's very informative, it's the future. What I would like to suggest is that the people who have upgraded, or everyone who's here on for today or going on forward, is it possible that maybe we could be get more slides or be more educated on this, so that when we go out there and share with people via sharing via, like, besides letting them watch the videos, the master classes, so that we are well informed, and whenever they ask questions we are able to answer them. Because I think the lack of knowledge maybe from our side when we try to explain to them what is happening. So I think more education on our side, or if there could be some smaller nyana slides that could be made so that we can look at them and then study on our own, go through them, so that when we meet with friends, like for example, my thinking is that I'm thinking of inviting a few friends. Maybe we just have a Zoom meeting, but I want to share a few slides. So is it possible that we could have something like that, so that we can do the recruitment of the generation?
Thank you, Queen Portia.
Oh,
My
sorry,
Chief Queen.
sorry, a second one, if you're taking note. What I'm thinking, ne? I have a daughter, she's 14 years. I'm thinking now she's gonna be in matric in 3 years' time, she's doing grade 9. So if we are struggling maybe to get people from outside, how about she's also part of my team? Then I become her guardian, because for me, I'm willing to invest on my own daughter so that I know she has the way forward. Remember, we were also little girls. So how about as we are growing as mothers, we also grow with our kids? That was another suggestion that I wanted to put.
Thank you, Queen Portia. Queen T.
Thank you so much, Queen Bongs. Thank you so much, Queen Porsche. You know, you queens are really raising very important questions. I love it. The question you've raised is very important. And yes, we do, for example, to the 30th of June was a cutoff for those who had not upgraded for the promotion. Remember, we were running a promotion where you're getting the vouchers to go and invest in Triba. And you might realize that you have upgraded and you haven't really received the voucher, or you have received the voucher and you don't know how to redeem it. That process was delayed because we do have a group of those who have upgraded already. And it was still a little bit mixed. So we just wanted to clear it up and then bring you in that group, where now we will be talking the same language, because I believe that if a person has committed to an extent where they upgrade, which means that person, that queen, is really serious about being here. And we want to put all of those together in one place so we can start supporting one another. We will be also sharing folders, not folders, flyers, and that you can use, like templates that you can use for your marketing material. And we also want, I hear you when you're saying that sometimes maybe you are quiet and you're not really working as much as you can because of lack of knowledge. I think what has been happening is that we have mixed two things here: the masterclass and the investments. So what will happen in the next weeks is that we are going to have a different slot just for Triba, so that we don't mix it up. you know, with the rest of like the masterclass and stuff. So we're going to have business seminars where now you can invite, because there might be those people who just want to invest on Triba and nothing else. Though our aim is to build our platform. So if you come to Triba, you have to go through Rollit, you know, and Bioscope, because